Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video, we are going to look at the concept of microbiology. So from the word microbiology, micro comprises of three words. Micro means tiny or small, bio means life, and the logos or logi means study. So in a simple way, you can define microbiology as the study of tiny life. That is, when we say tiny life means microorganism. And what is microorganisms? Microorganisms are organisms that we cannot see them with our naked eyes. So you see, microbiology is the study of microorganisms. And what are those microorganisms? Microorganisms are tiny life forms that cannot be seen with the naked eyes because they are very tiny and they are very small in the sense that we cannot see them with our naked eyes. And to see them, we have to use microscope. And what are the groups of these microorganisms? We have virus, and then apart from the virus, we have virus, we have bacteria, we have fungi, we have protozoa, and we have algae. So these are the group of microorganisms. They are tiny. We cannot see them with the naked eyes except when we use microscope. So very importantly, ladies and gentlemen, the virus, they are very tiny. It is 1 times smaller than the bacterial cell. That is why you have to use electrical microscope for you to see them. And very importantly, the field of microbiology includes the study of bacteria, the viruses, the fungi, the protozoa, and algae. So the study of bacteria is called bacteriology. The study of viruses is called virology. The study of fungi is called phycology. And then the study of protozoa is called protozoology. And then the study of algae is called mycology. So these are sub-branches of microbiology: bacteriology, virology, phycology, protozoology, and mycology. So all these are the branches of microbiology. And understanding microbiology is essential for advancement in medicine, agriculture, and environmental science. So after understanding, or if you are able to understand the knowledge of microbiology, it will open up your brain to understand the field of medicine and also their application in agriculture as well as environmental science. Because in medicine, the diseases that we are talking about, that is what you call infectious disease. And infectious diseases are the diseases that are caused by some of these microorganisms. So the next thing is the importance of microorganisms. So one of the very importance of microorganisms is nutrient cycling. So when we said nutrient cycling, some of these microorganisms, they aid in the breaking down of organic matter, like human, when we are dead or when we die. Is this some of these microorganisms that break us down into the elements like carbon and nitrogen? And those carbon and nitrogen, they will be recycled and used for the photosynthesis to generate food products. So that is how microorganisms are used in nutrient cycling. And very importantly, some of these microorganisms, they are vital for human health, like the aids in our digestion. Normally, humans, we take a lot of food products that we cannot digest them because we don't have enzymes that do so. Like, for example, when we take carbohydrate that is rich in cellulose and some fibers, we cannot digest cellulose because we lack or we don't have cellulose enzyme. So it is some of these microorganisms that provide us with cellulose, which aids the digestion of cellulose. And also, in addition, some of these microorganisms, they are important to protect us against harmful pathogens, because there are some microorganisms that they can cause this in our body. So it is these microorganisms that protect us against the pathogens. And very importantly, these microorganisms, you can use them in biotechnological industries or biotechnology industries or in industrial biotechnology, where you can use them in the production of drugs, antibiotics, vaccine, and fermented products or fermented foods. So these are some of the applications of microorganisms. So what are the types of microorganisms? So we have various types of microorganisms like viruses, like bacteria, and fungi. So what are bacteria? Bacteria are single-cell organisms, meaning that they are organisms that have only one cell that can be harmful. Some of them can be harmful, like Salmonella typhi, Clostridium tetani, Vibrio cholerae are the example of single-cell bacteria that they can cause disease in our body. And some of these microorganisms, they are beneficial to humans and the environment. Like examples of microorganisms that are beneficial to humans, Lactobacillus is an example. Lactobacillus thermophilus is a bacteria that are used in yogurt production. And in the environment, there are some land that become wastes in the sun that they are infertile soil, that they cannot allow the growth of plant, maybe due to air spillage. So in bioremediation, you can use some of these bacteria to remove the waste products that make the soil infertile. So that is one of the applications of bacteria in the environment, that is bioremediation, to revive the quality of land by removing the waste products that cause the land to be infertile. So very importantly, we have viruses. So viruses are acellular entities. Why are they acellular? Because they are below cell. So viruses are examples of supramolecular complexes in the sense that they are just only produced by the combination of some macromolecules. So a supramolecular complex is just a combination of macromolecules. So it is below cell. So according to cellular theory, anything that is below cell, it cannot sustain life. So that is why virus is considered as acellular, and it cannot reproduce unless when it is inside a host cell. So virus cannot reproduce and it cannot replicate itself unless when it finds itself in. So anything below cell, it cannot sustain life. So that is why virus is considered as cellular, because it is below cell and it can only reproduce and replicate when it found itself in a living host or in a host cell. So they are called acellular because they are below cell and they cannot reproduce on their own until when they infect another host cell. And they're responsible for causing various diseases like HIV, polio, measles. All are the diseases that are caused by the virus. And then in addition, apart from virus, we have fungi. So fungi include yeast and molds are the examples of fungi. And they are vital for decomposition and have application in food production and in medicine. So they are very important in production of food and also in medicine. Some of these fungi, like for example, penicillium, is one of the first fungi that used in the production of antibiotics, which is penicillin. It was produced accidentally by Alexandra Fleming in the year 1941. So then what are the microbial techniques? That is the techniques that are used in microbiology. So microbiologists employ various techniques such as culturing, staining, and microscopy to study microorganisms. So these are some of the techniques that are used in microbiology in order to study the microorganisms. Some of these techniques include the culturing, that is the rearing of the microorganisms in the lab, the staining and microscopy, that is for their identification. So these are some of the techniques that are used in microbiology. In addition, there is also molecular methods where we use PCR and DNA sequencing, which allows scientists to identify and characterize microorganisms. So PCR and DNA sequencing are some of the sophisticated techniques that are used in microbiology for identification and also characterization of the microorganism. And then these are some of the techniques that are used in the for identification of microbiology, which include phylogenetic classification, microscopy methods, biochemical techniques, and molecular method. So during this course, we are going to discuss most of these techniques that are used in microbiology, and I'm very sure you will enjoy them. So then, these techniques are essential for understanding microbial behavior, their interactions, and also their genetics. So if you really want to understand the behavior of these microorganisms, how they interact with one another, and how they also interact with other organisms, so you need to understand these techniques. And you also, if you want to understand their genetics, that is how they vary from one another, you need to also understand some of these techniques. So what are the applications of microbiology? So in medicine, one of the applications of microbiology is in medicine. So microbiology is crucial for diagnosing and treating infectious disease. So if you are able to understand the knowledge of microbiology, you will be able to diagnose and treat various infectious diseases. That is the diseases that are caused by some of these microorganisms. Then in agriculture, some of the application of microbiology in agriculture, it helps in developing biopesticide and biofertilizer to promote sustainable farming practices. So in one of the application of microbiology in agriculture, you can use the microorganisms to produce biopesticides. That is the chemicals that can be produced from some of these microorganisms to kill pesticides or to kill pests. And biofertilizers, we can use some of the microorganisms in producing fertilizer in order to promote the sustainable farming practices. We also have environmental microbiology, which focuses on bioremediation. That is how to use microbes. That is how to use microorganisms to clean up pollutant and restore ecosystems. So you can use this bioremediation in oil refining. And of course, in medicine, you can use the knowledge of microbiology in disease treatment. So microbes, as we can see from here, some of these microbes, they can use to produce antibiotics, where Penicillium notatum produced penicillin by Alexandra Fleming, 1928. And then bacteria can also synthesize vitamins which are needed for our body. Example, Escherichia coli are used in vitamins production. So these are some of the applications of microbiology. So what are the future of microbiology? So advances in technology such as CRISPR and metagenomics are revolutionizing our understanding of microbial life, and the field is increasing focus on the human microbiome, exploring its impact on human health and disease, and then very importantly, as global challenges like pandemics and climate change arise, microbiology will be key in finding innovative solutions. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. These are some of the future of microbiology, and I hope you will enjoy this video. Thank you very much. Subscribe and join the YouTube community, and see you next.